So, calculator cassette player have both not progressed just yet, but we have apparently unlocked the courier bot. Alright guys, hello and welcome back to another episode on Good Company Freeplay with me, Spacefish, and welcome back to this little research cabinet that I am apparently stood in right now. I'm not sure why I ended up here in the last episode, because I am pretty sure we focused more on actually producing our parts and proceeding through things. But as you guys can see down here, we are actually getting very close to milestone 3 through all the research that we're doing. We are currently still researching the programmable circuit, which will take a bit of time. As you guys can see, we don't really have much of any research data left over, so I don't think it makes that much sense to just have me helping out with that, because like I don't have any data to work off of anyways. But instead, we can maybe just have a quick look back at our whole market right here. I do have the feeling we should probably start fast forwarding things, you know, getting some more money flowing in while we wait for the next market phases, which, as you guys can see, is still so far away. And seeing that and saying that, and with all this stuff, I mean, kind of running pretty nicely, to be honest. First things first, I'm really wondering, why do I own this building over here? Was the thought process there just to have some kind of expandability for these things? Or did I want to make, like, pocket PCs or something over there? I'm really kind of unsure. But, anyways, with this now, in the back of my mind, I think things may have changed a bit. I'm just going to see if I can't just grab myself a few battery stacks right here that I'm just going to use for some quick analysis to get some extra research data flowing in, and then with that research data use that to actually just proceed on researching new things. But looking at that, did you guys just see that? They were actually waiting for logic circuits right here, which I'm kind of wondering why. To be honest, why are we still short on logic circuits? That should not be the case. Like, overall, they seem to be the shortest commodity, the lowest in supply commodity, and that's a bit weird. Because as you guys can see right here, we've got 0.6 days of an assembly time, right? And that should be the same thing, yeah, across the board. So I really... Across the board, by the way. Yeah, sure. But, like, I really don't know why we've got so many less logic circuits than, like, other components. Maybe it's still in a balancing process, but I thought I had kind of worked on all this a long while ago, so I'm really not quite sure why this keeps happening right now. It's a bit weird, isn't it? It does not look, though, as though these guys are, like, missing anything in particular, so I'm not quite sure. I'm really not quite sure in that regard. That said, let me stack this stuff up. Let me just interrupt my analyzing right here and just help out with some research instead, so we can proceed a bit faster on that logic circuit. And I think I'm pretty much going to keep my tune up there for the time being, because I mean, realistically, we don't really have much of anything else to do with him, and we may as well just use him as a free workforce on that, because if you guys remember, we need to get these logic circuits, actually programmable circuits already. Wow, we are getting really far very quickly. But yeah, we need to actually get those and one other thing, which I'll actually have to determine what that will be, so that we finally unlock a new product to be made. Now, we could do something like a plastic butt chassis, and maybe that's a good idea, just given that, milestone 3 by the way, but just given that the next thing is going to be bots, so having a proper bot chassis from the very get-go may be a great idea. I think that's something I'll potentially want to go for. Then again, I mean, I'm not sure it should be plastic. I mean, we've got like metal and the likes. It's on a different tier though, but it's unlockable too. So we could choose between like metal or plastic. I think, like, thinking back to these things, I think I liked metal more because it had more slots, if I recall that properly. So I think that would be the way that I want to go. I like the word think, by the way, if you guys haven't noticed yet, but we've actually finally achieved milestone 3, which is absolutely awesome, because that means we've now got conveyor belts and welding tables, and you know, some nice planters and stuff that we can surely eventually get into the factory to make things a little more pretty. But with that said, look at this. All these conveyor belts now available. I think that's going to be great. I don't really have a use case for those just yet, I don't think, so I'm not going to use them just yet. I'm not actually going to... Oh, programmable circuit done. So next thing, as I said, will be now the metal bot chassis. So I'm going to get that into the research queue. But yeah, I feel I don't really quite have a use case for these things just yet. So what is this? Wait a second, why is this over here? It should be there. That's actually so inefficient. Ah, God. Another inefficiency solved for the day. One inefficiency every day, guys. But yeah, like, I don't feel I really have a use case for these conveyors just yet. So I won't actually be making any, like, I won't have any employees that take care of actually making them or anything. I'm just gonna, you know, leave them out of the picture for now, because I feel with all this research stuff and the milestone unlocking, we are actually getting very far very quickly, while at the same time we don't really have quite the products, product requirements, the market situations, the product complexities that we would need to actually have to start taking advantage of them, if that makes sense. So I really feel like we don't need that stuff that badly. Now, with that said, I mean, look at that. There's so much time still to go till we advance to more market phases. Pocket computers are going to advance to market phase 3 in a bit, but as you guys know from like these two, we'll probably not have any issue just sticking with it until we actually get into phase 4. So we are mainly waiting on these two, and as you guys can see, there's a lot of units still to be sold here. So like, I'm pretty sure we will potentially maybe even get to this new product here, which will be one of the two bots, I think, first, before anything else happens. So, well, what do I say? I mean, that's literally the way it is. But maybe for the time being, we can have a quick look at buildings, so I can already see what I want to get myself for a proper bot production. We've got this one, which has got a delivery area and 110k of a price tag on it. This one doesn't, unfortunately. I think the first one may have been a bit, oh god, big. So yeah, we probably wouldn't want that one either. I just want something that's like mediocre size and has a delivery area, if that is possible. Now, is it possible? Is a different question. Oh, it seems to be possible. Okay, that's nice. Wait, god, the camera. I hate that. I just disabled it. I'm sorry, guys. That's something I still actually need to get used to. But yeah, so this layout I think is pretty nice. It's pretty doable. So we could just get one of these vacant buildings. I think 90k. This is a pretty alright price. Or we could even go for this one for 80k. So, I mean, honestly, I think this one's probably good. Let's actually go and buy this. I'm pretty sure that this one I just want to keep for the time being and just have as like a secondary building to supplement some of these things, right? If I need to have like some on top processes going, some on top like inputs, getting ready or whatever, then I think this small building will make sense. But bots, I think, will be a bit more complicated, so I'd rather just set a bit bigger of a building up for that. And with that said, while my tune is still up there analyzing away, oh no, he's actually not analyzing away anymore. Wait a second, I am out of batteries, so I'll just stick my tune into research real quick, and then we will already get ourselves down there to our new production place, and I should get like first few smaller things set up, I think. So we will obviously need a few courier pallets, which I'll be placing right here like that for a start. And well, I mean, the thing is, for tables, I can't really know, can I? Maybe we can just place some table, some nice, you know, decorations or something. 300k fountain from the Founders Pack. That's maybe a bit expensive, you know. You can have some nice plants or something, a whiteboard. I kind of fancy having like a whiteboard right here, and then this research table right there. Maybe like a lamp or something. Look at that. Sick. Sick decorations, just an easy like 30k spent or something. We should not do that too crazily at the moment. I don't think we have the overheads to really keep doing that. But yeah, so it is going to be a lot of time before we actually have this new case research. So I think, guys, I will place a quick cut here for you guys. And I'll be right back with you when either one of these market phases has advanced or we actually have unlocked the new product. Which, I mean, I can actually progress here manually. So I think maybe I will actually be delaying a bit on the calculator and the cassette player if I actually am very, very close to unlocking this new product when these new market phases could potentially be triggered. So, let's determine that after the cut though. I'll be right back with you guys. Alright guys, and welcome back to 99%, 100%, and we are done. With that said, before we actually take a look at what we just unlocked, I would like to get some more research going, just, you know, already get the next thing in the queue. So, we could go something like a 7-segment display, which I think would be a nice option. I am pretty sure we're already using LED matrices, for example, in our pocket computers, so something like that would probably be a nice addition. Also, we could have, like, medium motors and stuff, but, like, honestly, we haven't even made our first bot yet, so I think that is not, honestly, incredibly necessary as of yet. So let's start out with the 7-segment display, and then maybe we can also get like some drone stuff, you know, like the AM radio link, like the brightness sensor, and all these good kinds of things. But for the time being, 7-segment display is going to be the name of the game. Let me actually get this back to standard speed, and let's have a look at our market overview. So, calculator, cassette player have both not progressed just yet, but we have apparently unlocked the courier bot. So, with that said, let's have a look into the blueprint designer. Let's create a new blueprint, which is going to be a courier bot. We will have the metal bot chassis used in that one. And we will, we'll definitely need some small compartments. Maybe actually something that I can add after the fact. Maybe I should first and foremost focus on other parts. So we have got speed and battery life as our other requirements. So locomotion then. DC motors were always for speed. We only actually need one of them, which is nice. I think that is pretty nice and handy. I'm gonna place that here. Then I mean, how much does this give me? 3. What? 3 storage space? I only need 1. God, guys, I think this is going to be another one of these situations where, like, we'll need, like, 4 market phases before we actually need to do anything about our courier bot, because, like, we are tripling the storage value that is mandatory for, well, for, like, max fulfillment right now. So, yeah, let's see about that. That's going to be interesting, I think. Now, we've got battery stacks. We've got double battery stacks. Double battery stacks are 2.4, single battery stacks are 0.9. So double battery stacks would be the more desirable thing for me, I think. I could obviously just stash 3 battery stacks in there, and we wouldn't still not have any space issues. The question being, so, like, it would be nice, you know. Wait, we can actually see that, can't we? So we would have, if we put this, we have okay, we would have like 5 plastic on top, 3 metal, and 1 chemical. If I would do this, 11 plastic, 3 chemical, was that any metal? No. How much metal did the other one cost me? It's like 3 metal, and this one is like, okay, so this one's a bit more plastic. How much more plastic? I think this one will cost me more in mats. In employees, it would be the same cost. Now the question is, what I did not actually look at, how much money would I get from each? So this one is 1120. And what's this one? 1090. Doesn't make that much of a difference, does it? And I would rather, you know, start getting myself into more advanced things now, I think. Like, we've been plunking away at it with, like, stacking 5 of these smaller things. I mean, not 5, but like 2 or 3 of these smaller things onto each other for the longest time now. And I would really like to actually go more advanced. That said, I just thought of something though. Assembly time 0.95 days. What do we have here? Basic workbench. See, that's the issue. This is the more optimal solution. Do you guys know why? The thing is that this only produces at a frequency of 1 day. And if I want to have 2 final assembly tables, I can either have some setup like this going, where my assembly time is around about a day, and 2 DC motor stations to get all my inputs going, or I can have the other assembly time of like 0.6 days. I mean, does it... Yeah, but like, the thing is, right, if I have the other assembly time of 0.6 days and I would only go for 1 table, I would still not have the production potential that I have right here, because like, yeah. I mean, with 2 assembly tables, 0.95 days, it would be like 0.5 days on average, and with 1 table I would only be at 0.6 days for one on average, so it would be slowing it down a bit. The question is, no, I think we're just going to go for 1 assembly table then. I think we're honestly just going to go for 1 assembly table and produce a bit less. It's actually 0.7 days. I thought it was 0.6. Nope. God. Okay. Changing the plan back and forth here for like 2 bajillion times, but I would like to actually go for that then. So, we will call this, what will we call this? The, Cura Bots Mark 1. Let's call it something like that. I think that's a decent name. If you guys have your own for this bot, let me know in the comments down below. I've got a few names for you guys already that I'm using for like my calculator and my cassette player, I think. But if you guys have like on top names that you would like to see for like Pocket Computer or Courier Bots, you know, or future products, definitely make sure to let me know down below in the comments. But with that said, this gets us to a market appeal of the... okay. And the other one probably does not... Does it incur the weight issue as well? Not as badly. So the market appeal is higher through using that, and that then, I guess, in turn, will determine our final strategy on this kind of stuff. Which I have to say, that it's actually crazy that we're running into weight drawbacks here already. I kind of like it. It was certainly not that much that way in like older versions of Good Company, like didn't really have these drawback issues that early on, but I like it. I like that I have to potentially use more of that stuff in the future to actually fix that, and I should probably start researching these things as well, speaking of which. But for the time being, this will then be our design, and we will need to get a setup going down here that takes care of each and every one of these things. Now, with that said, I have got a courier pallet right here, right? And I would like to just have my final assembly table right next to it for the start, so that you can just put it right into there. I'll put the second assembly table over there. Train of thought being, like, if I ever want to expand this production to 2 assembly tables, his production now takes longer, you know, I can still put like a shelf in between, and they just jointly use that. And speaking of which, I think I should one way or another put a shelf in between. I'm not going to hire any employees for the time being. I'm just going to take care of the shelves for now, and then we can see about the rest of the things later. Now, we have got our big shelving rack here, so that will be our final assembly. What I will then need is a setup plan for all the other things needed. Now, Metalbot chassis actually needs 1 day as well. See, this whole frequency matching thing is really, really annoying, I'll have to say. I absolutely dislike it that we have these kinds of issues. Now, the thing is, if I'm going for 0.7 days, it would be 0.35 days per bot if I had 2 assembly guys. Should I maybe just go for 2 assembly guys right away and just kind of live with the fact that they won't be constantly supplied with everything they need? Maybe that's actually an option. So, like, say I would have 2 tables right here that I would then use for my Metalbot chassis production. I should actually not be going, by the way, from the last product in the queue, but like the first one. So I'm gonna need metal sundries pretty much everywhere. So let's get like a metal sundries and mechanical parts and gears and everything production corner up and running, shall we? Because we will need that for a chassis as well. And I hope we won't actually need two tables for the whole thing. So I really just want to keep one door open. I think that's pretty fine. So I'm pretty sure we can just close this thing off right here. That said, this would actually totally disallow me, and my phone's just ringing away at me. I'm sorry for that one, guys. That said, this would actually totally disallow me from placing a shelf right there, because I would be blocking everything off. Okay, maybe let's not stash things that tightly together then. Let me instead start out here, I guess. And then we will have another basic workbench out here. So this will be rods, then this will be metal sundries. Then I will just offset this by a bit, I feel. Will I? Yeah, so like, I mean, these tables are accessible from both sides, so we don't really need to worry about employees getting stuck in there. So we will just offset that by a bit. I'll have gears right here, and I'll have mechanical parts right there, and then the only thing that I'm still going to need is going to be a small shelving rack, which I can just place right there. And that should, I think, have enough space for all the things needed right there. And with that said and done, what I can now do is I can have another 2 tables right here that will then do my small DC motors, which I should now have all the input materials for. The only thing that I'll really need to check out is like frequencies for metal sundries and the likes, because as I said before, I will actually need those for the Metalbot chassis as well, so gonna have to see if that actually works out. But for the time being, I'm just doing the initial setup on these kinds of things. Now, the other thing that I'll actually need is going to be plastic parts, and I can make those over here in the corner, I think. So I'll be making plastic parts right here, I have a small shelving rack right there, and these will then get moved over to here for these things. Now, I've got these covered, and I've got those covered. Next thing I will need is a production for my bigger batteries. Now, I will need 2 outputs. So, like, I will need 2 tables actually taking care of the final outputs for me there. So, like, the idea would be something like that, I suppose. I'm pretty sure I need... No... Wasted all that money right there. Okay, well, let's redo that. So I'll obviously need chemistry tables for batteries. So something like that still. Now I'm pretty sure that I need 1 battery stack. Yeah, for 1 double battery stack. So basically, I would be making something like this. Now for these, I need plastic parts as well. Question being, I've got 10 here every 60.6 days, right? I need 5 here every day. Okay, so that's 10. How many would I need here? I don't have enough. Okay, that's... No! Wait a second. I just accidentally moved my tune. I heard that. Okay. Let's fix that for a second. So let's move him back here. And let's just have him research again, because I obviously totally forgot I had to get myself back into that. Now, moving the camera back though, I will need another plastic part production. I think I could just stash it in front of here, to be honest. Just like that. I think that's pretty fine, and we're going to do plastic parts there as well, and that will give us all the inputs for these batteries. Now, the only thing that we will then be left with is actually building the small compartments, and then we can actually start employing people, connecting everything up, and hopefully getting our first few courier bots sold. But I think, guys, that can only happen in the next episode. So for the time being, guys, I do hope that you guys enjoyed this episode, and if you did, please make sure to hit that like button down below. And if you're new around here and like this episode and would like to stay around for more of this kind of content, also definitely make sure to hit that subscribe button down below, as well as the bell icon right next to it to stay up to date on all of my future upcoming videos. And with that said, guys, as always, I would like to thank you all very much for watching, and I hope I'll see you in the next one. Ciao.